This video that I'm recording right now is for me, is for myself. I'm recording it only for myself because I want this to be on my timeline. Why? Because I'm going to discuss with myself what did I do differently this year, which is 2025. So there are things, there were new things that I tried. There were old things, old habits, stuff like that, that I'd forgotten, which I reintroduced this year, and how all of that became part of my evolution journey in 2025. So let me start. The first thing, the new thing that I tried was YouTube. I posted my first video on 30th of January, and it's been 46 weeks since then. And I've posted 56 videos. And I created YouTube channel when I was done with short form content. I was done with Instagram. I didn't feel like being there. And I had no idea where else to go. But I was too fearful of facing the camera and speaking like this because I have this fear of being here, like on the video and sharing my voice. But I decided to face this fear. So I know I've not grown on YouTube as much as I wanted to because I've seen people grow really fast. Like within a few months, they cross 1,000 subscribers and whatever X numbers of hours that YouTube asks you to finish within a year. But I have my 80 subscribers. I don't know who you guys are. Thank you so much for being here. Really, like from the depth of my heart, I'm really happy that I gained your trust, that you decided to be here. YouTube has changed me as a person. First, because I think it helped me develop this trust in myself that I can actually create long form content. The process of creation of this script and then presenting it on video like this, it really changes you as a person because it really helps you get in touch with your creative self. And that was what was missing from my life before I started posting here. I used to feel like I'm not creative at all, but that has changed a bit now. Another thing is that YouTube doesn't feel like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. Sorry to all these platforms, but there's something different about being here. It feels like a safe space to share your voice and just be creative and do whatever you want to do and present your work and create your work. At the same time, see your own progress through it. And I'm aware that there's a long way to go for me to be somebody here on YouTube. But I think first year, even though growth was kind of negligible, but it was still there, and I'm happy for it. Okay, next point is that I went for my first ever solo movie date. I'd never ever seen a movie alone, but there was this phase in my life this year where I was so low, and I have only a few friends here in Dubai, but all of them were traveling. When I really just wanted to go for a movie, just to have a good time. And there was this Bollywood movie that I really wanted to see. So one of my friends from India, she really motivated to go for it all alone and not wait for anybody. So I went on this solo movie date. I know people do it all the time, so it should not be a big deal, but it was a big deal for me. And I tell you, I had so much fun. And something that I realized while watching a movie alone in the theater is that how much you're able to concentrate on the movie when you're all alone. Even if you don't talk to the people you're with while watching the movie, you still have that distracted energy. I don't know. I mean, there was something that was different when I saw this movie. I was fully into the movie. I was able to not just focus on the main characters. I was able to focus on each and every person that was part of that movie. Like I was not just focusing on what they were doing in the movie, but I was just noticing, how they all are so different, how they act differently, and how well connected are they to their roles and stuff like that. So it was an interesting experience. I forgot to mention when I was entering the screen area, the female guard, she asked me, just one ticket? Are you all alone? I was like, yes. For a moment, I did feel like, okay, I think she's thinking that I don't have anybody to see this movie with. But by the end of the movie, it was all gone. And I decided that day that I'm going to do this often now. I'm not gonna stop myself from watching a movie only because I don't have anybody to watch the movie with. So yeah, that was interesting. Okay, the third one is jump rope. So I am into weight training. I love weight training, but I don't enjoy cardio that much. So this year I decided that I'm gonna start, exploring jump rope. So I ordered a rope, a new rope, and a jump rope mat, and I started my practice. So initially it was difficult because I was learning the technique to properly jump and not hurt myself. But after a while, once I got the technique, I was like comfortable doing it. But I remember after first 3 days of trying jump rope, oh my God, the kind of pain I had in my calves. Not because I was doing it incorrectly, but because it was that sweet pain that you get when you try something for the first time. And it made me actually question my weight training, leg training, because I was thinking, how come I'm feeling so much this, like, where is it coming from? Where this pain is coming from? And I'm somebody who works out really well. Like, that's what I believe. But I know when you try something new, this happens. Okay, the next thing is I tried for the first time 3 days water fasting. I don't think I'm gonna do it again. But when I tried it, it was not just because I wanted to do it for losing weight or whatever, cleansing. Yes, cleansing was one of the purposes, but there was something spiritually I was feeling. I really wanted to just let go of something. And yeah, staying away from food felt like the right choice as well, along with other things that I was doing for letting go. So during 3 days water fasting, I kept drinking electrolyte. So that was good. So first 1.5 days, it was fine. Like it was perfect. I didn't feel hungry. Nothing happened. And after 1.5 days, I was still not hungry, but I felt like I couldn't function because my body was becoming cold and I just didn't have energy to do anything, which is fine because I didn't have anything planned for those 3 days. Even second day, I would say like first 2 days, it was okay, but third day, since right from the third day morning, I was just waiting for the evening for this day to get over. And I remember I was just on the floor the whole day. I was not able to sit. I was not able to be on the bed. I was on the floor. I just felt like, staying connected to Mother Earth. And that felt like, I think that was a release for me. I was releasing something that day. And I didn't do this without any preparation. My body was prepared enough. I've done fasting 1 day, 1.5 days, but 3 days stretch was something that I'd never tried. And I really wanted to try that. And how 3 days water fasting changed me? It did not change anything me as in physically because I didn't do it to lose weight or something like that, as I said. But still, it felt like an achievement. I don't know how to say it. And not achievement because I was trying to prove a point. It just felt like I did something that I really wanted to do for a long time. Okay, the next one is reading. So I read quite a lot. Like I love to read. But this year did something for me. I decided to include fiction into my life. And I think I was reintroducing fiction after about 15 years, 15 plus years. For all the past years, I was only like learning and implementing also what I was learning. So it was most of self-help stuff. I don't know what was the moment that made me decide that I now want to read fiction as well. I want to balance my reading habit. I added fiction and I've read about like mix of self-help and fiction about 16 books since July. Till July, I was reading stuff, but I wasn't regular. But decided in July, I saw the list of pending books on my Kindle and otherwise, like physical copies. And something in me changed, but there was a part of me that didn't want to like read self-help only. So I picked up a random book, which was like one of the best books I had read in a long time. So adding fiction did some sort of magic to my creativity again. So this year was about like getting in touch with my own creativity, believing in myself that I can also be creative, and adding fiction into it did a very different sort of magic because when I read that first fiction book that I chose for myself in July, I was in awe of how beautifully it was written. The way the writer had created those beautiful characters, it did something in me. I felt like there is so much creativity around me, and yes, I can be creative too. It felt like, getting in touch with the beauty again. So yeah, reading was one of the things that I think it was not something new that I added into my life, but it was something that I paid attention to and it transformed me. Okay, next point is writing. So I have a lot to share. I write a lot, but all my writings are mostly part of my journals, or sometimes I express myself on Instagram stories. But I had this deep desire to cultivate the writer within me. And it's now slowly coming on the surface. So I have decided to be on Substack. So I created an account just a few days back on Substack. And I told myself that this is not going to be a platform for me to perform. This is going to be a platform for me to express whatever I want to express. I have stories to tell. So I will give myself this space to tell those stories. Whether somebody's reading or not, that's not the point. So, yes, Substack, it's like now 2026. I will dedicate myself on two platforms, YouTube and Substack. This is what I've decided: writing, speaking, creating, and just expressing. The next thing is ink pen. I introduced ink pen back into my life. So I do not like typing that much. I usually write using my ballpoint pen or pencil. But while I was doing my water fasting the last day, I picked up my phone, opened Amazon, and I ordered an ink pen. And I decided from now on, I'm going to use my ink pen and get in touch with my handwriting again. Like I write using ballpoint pen, as I said, but the way I used to write using an ink pen when I was in school, it was different. It used to feel different because I think my handwriting was beautiful. And I really wanted to get in touch with that part again. So now I use ink pens so much, especially while taking notes of something special, some special classes that I'm going through, which I'm going to explain in the next one. So yeah, ink pen was reintroduced in my life. Now the last part is very spiritual. So I've been on the path of spirituality for many years, but I had never explored deities the way I explored them this year. All the gods and goddesses of Sanatan Dharma, they have changed me this year. First 5 months of 2025, I don't remember much about them, honestly. But June 1st, I went for Kal Bhairav Sadhana here in Dubai. And when I went there, I knew it was about chanting specific stotras. So one was Kal Bhairava and one was of one of the goddesses, but I didn't know how to chant. So when I went there, I heard Kal Bhairav Ashtakam for the first time and something changed in me. But I was so ashamed because I could not speak those words written in Sanskrit. And I was like, I'm an Indian. I have studied Sanskrit till ninth standard. And I have no idea how to say those words, how to sing the Ashtakam. But I think Kal Bhairav was around me that day because, first of all, I fell in love with Kal Bhairav Ashtakam. It is so beautiful. I decided I'm going to listen to it every day. Then I'm going to learn the meaning of each of the shlokas. I'm going to learn how to chant it. And I did. And this event opened up something because after that, I studied about Das Mahavidyas. I think Kal Bhairav came in my life to actually bring me closer to Shakti, Devi, goddess. Because after this, I did mantra sadhana, not just Kal Bhairava, but different goddesses like Ma Matangi, Kali Ma. Kali Ma, I didn't do any mantra sadhana, but I did like she just came into my life for this cleansing, and I dedicated a few days just to meditate on her energies. I went through multiple sadhanas. I know it's a lot, and people will say it's not safe and all, but I was absolutely safe. I know there was something that was accelerating in my life because there was a lot of karma getting accelerated, and I was just going through this cleansing process, one sadhana after another. I tried Kala Bhairava Stotra, then Siddha Kunjika sadhana, then Argala Stotra sadhana, then Devi Aparajita sadhana, and I finally reached the temple of Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari. And I have fallen in love with Lalita Sahasranama. She is the one who's guiding me now. And I decided to learn Lalita Sahasranama, and I'm going through now every week, every weekend classes to understand the meaning of each nama. And it has been a beautiful journey. And it started from, I think, end of August when I decided to learn Lalita Sahasranama. Actually, what happened was that it just came in my reality. One day I decided I'm gonna meditate on this stotra. Let me see what it is and how it feels. And the moment it started playing, I got lost somewhere. I don't know where. And I felt like there was this energy that came through the base of my spine, and I felt it in my throat, which actually started singing the stotra. I was not like, my lips were not moving. I was not doing anything, but there was something that that was singing through me. And for a moment, I literally got scared because I felt like, how do I know this? How do I know this stotra? What is it? But since I got scared, it stopped. And I decided, no, if this is something that I know from probably another lifetime, I should chant it regularly. So I learned like the Sahasranama, and I've been chanting it since 15th of September. Every day I've not stopped. And it wasn't easy initially because I think first day it took me about an hour to sing it, because it's, how many, there are 13 pages, 183 verses or 181 verses, 1,000 names. So it takes a bit of time. But then now it's easy. And I cannot believe that I'm able to sing it well in Sanskrit. I'm still improving on my pronunciation, but all the sadhanas that came into my life this year, they changed me. And it began, as I said, from Kal Bhairava. Kal Bhairava is still there. I regularly chant one of his mantras just before Lalita Sahasranama. I feel like I'm just working on balancing my inner masculine and feminine. And I call them Ma and Baba, and they're with me, protecting me, guiding me, loving me. There's a lot of blessing that I feel is around me. And this was the biggest transformation that 2025 brought in my life. I would say that it wasn't easy to go through the sadhanas because, these Sanskrit mantras are so strong. They just help you cleanse your karmas, but they also make you face your shit in like 10x speed, I would say. It's not easy for everyone to face that. But if you just have faith in the power that's guiding you and not be scared of facing yourself, because when you face your karmas, you're actually facing yourself, right? Then this can change your life. And I'm not saying how I did it was the best way. I just followed the guidance, and I was not chasing anything. As I said, I was not. You might think that there are so many stotras that I learned and I chanted. I did sadhanas for whatever 21 days, 40 days, and all. But it was being guided by something. I would find people who would tell me to do something, and I would just do it. And there was no fear. Actually, there was no fear. Even the things that got accelerated from karma's point of view, I was in awareness all the time. I knew why it was happening and how that acceleration actually cleansed a lot of things from my life was an interesting thing to experience, honestly. So, this was the last thing on my list. I'm sure I've missed out a few, but it's okay. I think I did a good job, and this was not an easy year, honestly, but there was support and so much divine guidance, the special energies that were guiding me, and I'm so thankful that along with pain, I experienced a lot of magic also this year. And let's see what happens next year. So, if you're watching me right now, if you're listening to this video, thank you for being here. And if you have something to share in the comments about how this year was for you and what were the things, new or old, that you tried this year and how they changed your life.